was founded after 9/11 because they recognized that some people did something and that all of us were starting to lose access to our civil liberties.
Marjorie Taylor Greene just humiliated Ilhan Omar in Congress, calling her out over years of anti-American statements, anti-Semitic remarks, and her constant attacks on the very country that gave her freedom. MTG pulled no punches and told Omar what millions of Americans have been thinking. If you hate America so much, maybe you should go back to the country you came from. This explosive moment exposes the truth about Omar and proves why fighters like MTG are needed in Washington now more than ever.
Georgia seek recognition.
Mr. Speaker, pursuant to Clause 2A.1 of Rule 9, I seek recognition to give notice of my intent to raise a question of the privileges of the House. The form of the resolution is as follows.
Recognized.
Censuring Representative Ilhan Omar of Minnesota. Whereas elected members of Congress take an oath to bear true faith and allegiance to the United States without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion. Whereas Representative Ilhan Omar took an oath of allegiance to the United States upon becoming a citizen, declaring, "I absolutely and entirely renounce and abjure all allegiance and fidelity to any foreign prince, potentate, state, or sovereignty, of whom or which I have heretofore been a subject or citizen." Whereas on January 27, 2024, Representative Omar gave remarks at an event in Minneapolis in which she made treasonous statements. Whereas Representative Omar said she has spoken to many Somalians who asked her to intercede for the Somali government by pressuring the United States government into certain actions. Whereas Representative Omar assured the Somalians she spoke to, the U.S. government will only do what Somalians in the U.S. tell them to do. They will do what we want and nothing else. They must follow our orders, and that is how we will safeguard the interest of Somalia. Whereas Representative Omar continued, "For as long as I am in U.S. Congress, Somalia will never be in danger. Its waters will not be stolen by Ethiopia or others. Sleep in comfort knowing I am here to protect the interest of Somalia from inside the U.S. system." Whereas George Washington warned in his farewell address of 1796 to guard against the impostures of pretended patriotism, and further declared citizens by birth or choice of a common country, that country has a right to concentrate your affections. The name of American, which belongs to you in your national capacity, must always exalt the just pride of patriotism more than any appellation derived from local discriminations. Whereas these statements by Representative Omar clearly violate the oath she took as an elected member of Congress to defend and protect the United States Constitution. Whereas Representative Omar has exhibited the treasonous tendencies George Washington warned about, and her actions must be condemned by all members of Congress who adhere to the oath they took upon assuming office. And whereas by openly admitting her efforts to advance Somalia's interest using her position as a United States representative, Representative Omar has revealed herself to be a foreign agent acting on behalf of a foreign government. Now, therefore, be it resolved that Representative Ilhan Omar of Minnesota be censured. Representative Ilhan Omar forthwith present herself in the well of the House of Representatives for the pronouncement of censure. Representative Ilhan Omar be censured with the public reading of this resolution by the Speaker, and Representative Ilhan Omar be and is hereby removed from the Committee of the Budget and the Committee on Education and the Workforce.
Welcome back to Alyson Reacts. Before we get into this explosive reaction, make sure you hit that subscribe button and like this video. Every single click helps us fight back against the establishment and their propaganda machine that works overtime to silence patriotic voices like ours. We're here to stand up, to speak truth, and to expose the corruption and hypocrisy coming out of Washington. Now, let's talk about what just went down. This moment between Marjorie Taylor Greene and Ilhan Omar wasn't just another heated exchange in Congress. This was one of those rare times where the truth came crashing down with no filter, no apologies, and no political correctness to sugarcoat it. MTG looked Omar in the face and gave her the wake-up call that millions of Americans have been shouting for years. If you despise this country so much, if every word out of your mouth is an insult to the nation that gave you freedom, maybe it's time to go back to the country you came from. Now, let's rewind and talk about why this matters. Ilhan Omar came to the United States as a refugee from Somalia. She was given opportunities here that millions of people around the world can only dream of. She went from refugee status to being elected as a member of the United States Congress. That's the American dream. That's proof that this country isn't racist, that it isn't oppressive, but rather a land of opportunity where hard work and ambition can take you anywhere. But instead of being grateful, instead of showing pride in the nation that gave her this chance, Omar has made a career out of bashing America. Let's not forget some of her most infamous remarks. Remember when she described the 9/11 terrorist attacks, where thousands of innocent Americans were murdered by Islamic extremists as, and I quote, "Some people did something?" Think about how insulting that is. Families lost loved ones. First responders sacrificed their lives. And all Omar could say was, "Some people did something." That statement alone should have disqualified her from serving in Congress. But the media shrugged it off. Then there's her long list of anti-Semitic comments, from suggesting that support for Israel is all about the Benjamins to implying that Jewish Americans have dual loyalty. These are textbook anti-Semitic tropes. And yet, instead of condemning her, the Democrats bent over backwards to protect her, to shield her from accountability, and to label anyone who criticized her as racist or Islamophobic. She's also defended members of terrorist organizations, openly questioned U.S. foreign policy in ways that always seem to side with our enemies, and consistently paints America as the villain on the world stage. Over and over again, Omar proves that her loyalty isn't to the United States of America, but to an agenda that undermines everything this nation stands for. And this is where Marjorie Taylor Greene stepped in. MTG isn't polished. She isn't about fake smiles and political double talk. She is raw. She is real, and she tells it like it is. And in this moment, she absolutely humiliated Omar by holding up a mirror to her own words and actions. Greene reminded the chamber of Omar's past statements, her defense of terrorists, her attacks on Israel, her constant America bashing. And then she delivered the hammer. If you hate America so much, why are you even here? Go back. No more pandering, no more tiptoeing, just the truth laid bare for everyone to hear. Now, I want you to notice Omar's reaction. Did she fire back with facts? Did she defend her record with pride?
No.
She sat there stunned, embarrassed, and humiliated because the truth is impossible to argue with when your own words betray you. For too long, Omar has gotten away with spewing venom while hiding behind identity politics, using the shield of victimhood to deflect criticism. But MTG shattered that shield today. And folks, this moment speaks to something bigger. This is about what kind of country we want to be. Do we want leaders who love America, who are proud of our flag, who understand the sacrifices of our veterans and our founding fathers? Or do we want leaders who come here, take full advantage of everything America offers, and then turn around and spit on it? Marjorie Taylor Greene made it clear where she stands. She stands with America. She stands with our Constitution, our freedoms, and our people. And by calling out Omar so directly, she gave voice to millions of Americans who have been silenced, ignored, and dismissed by the political elites. And let's be honest here, the reason this moment is so powerful is because it cuts through the lies. For years, the left has tried to brainwash us into thinking that loving your country is somehow controversial. That criticizing people like Omar for their anti-American statements is racist. That demanding loyalty to the United States from our elected officials is somehow hateful. But no, what's hateful is taking an oath to serve America while undermining it at every turn. MTG's words echo what so many patriots feel deep in their hearts. If you hate America, leave. Nobody is forcing you to stay here. But don't expect us to stand by while you tear down our values, disrespect our flag, and undermine our freedoms. And this is exactly why the establishment hates MTG. Because she refuses to play by their rules. She refuses to bow to political correctness. And most importantly, she refuses to let anti-American voices go unchallenged in our government. That's what leadership looks like. That's what courage looks like. So let me ask you, patriots, was MTG right to call out Omar in this way? Do you believe people like Omar have any place in Congress if they refuse to respect America? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, because this is a conversation we need to have. And before you go, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and like this video. Share it with your friends, your family, and every patriot you know. Together, we're building a movement that refuses to be silenced. This is Ilhan Reacts, standing tall, speaking truth, and defending America. I'll see you in the next one.